Hey, I'm back and I'm doing another Death Grips tier list. Hey, I'm back and I'm doing another Death Grips tier list. So let's just get straight to it. Hey guys, welcome back to another Tier List Tuesday. Today we're going to be doing a Death Grips tier list. And I just want to thank YouTube commenter Popcorn Philosophy for last week giving us the idea. Let's just get right to it. Let's just face the beast head on, go straight for it. It's The Money Store. It's The Money Store. It's their most popular album, critically acclaimed, at least as far as, I don't know, Anthony Fantano giving it a 10. I feel like there's such a large stereotype surrounding liking The Money Store. Like if you say you love The Money Store, people will say you're a Fantano dick rider, or oh, you don't listen to real Death Grips, you don't listen to ex-military, you only listen to their fucking mainstream shit, The Money Store. But it's not mainstream shit. And also, why does it fucking matter? You know, you could be the biggest Death Grips fan in the world and still fucking love The Money Store, obviously. Hello, what? But anyway, like I feel like a fear of listening to the album or telling people that I love it because I think they'll hold me in low regard like that. But also, who gives a shit? Maybe I'm just making that up. I don't think anyone actually cares, first of all. Either they have no idea what Death Grips is and you sound like a lunatic, or they do know what Death Grips is and they obviously agree with you. I don't know, it just pisses me off that The Money Store is like, I feel that it makes me mad that I feel awkward to say I enjoy The Money Store, but I fucking love The Money Store. It's a classic. It's what got me into Death Grips, as I assume it's what got many people into Death Grips, and completely justifiably. It's a fucking perfect record. It's going S tier. Alright, now we're gonna do No Love Deep Web, the fucking the Dick album. So this album is funny for me because I associate it with Disney World. When I went to Disney World a couple years ago, the only two albums I had downloaded on my phone were No Love Deep Web and the Hamilton soundtrack. And that was like during a big Hamilton phase of mine, so I had already listened to it way too many times. So basically the only album I was listening to for the whole trip to Disney World, the 8-hour bus ride there and back, and when I was in my hotel room and all throughout the day, was No Love Deep Web. So now whenever I see Zach Hill's fucking penis, I think of Mickey Mouse. When I listen to No Love Deep Web, I feel like I'm in Disney World. And when I'm at Disney World, I feel like I'm listening to No Love Deep Web. They're just completely intertwined in my mind, which makes no sense at all. They are complete opposite vibes from each other. But because of that intense, amazing association I have with it, and also because it's a great album, it's going in S tier. Okay, and then we have Government Plates, which I will say I think is the worst Death Grips cover. Because I feel like one of Death Grips' biggest appeals is their bizarre, off-putting album covers, and Government Plates is just a boring one. It's just like, you know, it's just a license plate that it doesn't make you feel creeped out like the other ones do. It doesn't feel out of the ordinary, uncanny, anything like that. It's just a normal album cover. It looks like it could be anyone else's album. And I feel like, especially for music, many times, when I'm trying to find a new album to listen to, I will base it solely 100% off of the album cover, which is like the complete opposite of Don't Judge a Book by its cover. And I know there are many good albums with bad album covers, but anyway, I don't know. But I feel like Death Grips has such a creepy association with its name already, or such a strange association that its name is enough to get people to listen to the album, whatever. I'll put the bad album cover aside. But yeah, I think this is the strongest opening track on any Death Grips album? I don't know, it's like as soon as I fucking hear the opening to that song, my head is banging and I'm shaking and I'm jumping and I feel like I need to go work out and bash my head through a brick wall, and then that feeling just sets me up for the whole rest of the album and I feel so pumped up by the end of it. Yeah, just fucking fantastic album, amazing album. You know what, I'm gonna put it S tier. Alright, now the powers that be. I'm not gonna split this up into On the Moon and Jenny Death. I don't know why Death Grips fans are so fucking particular about their music. Death Grips fans just seem like fucking vultures to me, or vampires who suck the fun and the excitement out of everything by overanalyzing things and fucking, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, basically veering away from what I just said, if I had to pick On the Moon or Jenny Death as my favorite, I would have to say On the Moon, because holy fucking shit, every single track on the first half of Powers That Be is insane. Every time I listen to Powers That Be, especially the first half of it, I keep forgetting how good it is. And every single song I think, no wait, this is my favorite track off of Powers That Be. And then I go to the next one, like, no, this is my favorite one, this is my favorite one. Because they're all so good. And it's also insane to me, it feels so unique to this album that every song has like 4 different phases to it. Am I going insane? Like, they're not just bridges. Like, it just turns into a whole different song. I'm talking about music like I know anything about music theory at all. I'm talking completely out of my fucking ass right now. I don't even listen to lyrics in songs, which is why Death Grips is perfect. Just like whatever primal emotion the song makes me feel, I like it. Like, sometimes I'll have a song I thought was my favorite for years, and then I'll go and actually listen to the lyrics. I'm like, oh, that's what it's talking about? That's not nearly as exciting as what I thought it was talking about. But anyway, you don't have to worry about that with Death Grips. It's just mumble garbage mayhem, and I fucking love that. But yeah, this album is fucking killer. Also a great closing track. One of the best, up there with Bottomless Pit, like the two best Death Grips closing songs. So yeah, strong opening, strong ending, just so much raw, visceral enjoyment out of this album. Oh my fucking god. But yeah, I love this album so much. It has to go S tier. Alright, now we're going to Fashion Week, released between On the Moon and Jenny Death. And I still think this album is hilarious, just the fact that the tracks spell out Jenny Death when. It's so funny and evil from Death Grips. But I think this would be the last Death Grips album I heard for the first time. Or Interview 2016, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when I was a little baby boy, I was too scared to listen to instrumental albums. And I was like, I want MC Ride. I want to sing along. But holy shit! Earlier this year, Fashion Week, I was just listening to it non-stop. Like, the only thing I would listen to for weeks straight. Like, walk into class, doing homework, in class, working out, whatever. I don't work out. I don't know why I said that. I just felt like it would be cooler if I said that. But yeah, this is still my go-to for when I need something. I hate to say background music, but when I need something playing while I'm focusing on something else so I don't get distracted by the lyrics, like, I'll just put this on and I'll be fucking banging my head to this shit, jamming out, dancing while I'm still focused on what I'm doing. So that's very good. And yeah, just ridiculous hooks. It's like, they're hooks, but they're just instrumentals. I don't know. I'm going crazy here. I know so much about music, but it's an S tier. It's an S tier album. It's an S tier album. Okay, Year of the Snitch is another Death Grips album I just really got into this year. Year of the Snitch was the first Death Grips album to release while I was a fan of them. So of course I listened to it, the week it came out, and I was listening to it a lot for like a week, but for some reason it didn't latch onto me. I never returned to it since then. I mean, like a couple of times since then, but I never appreciated how good Year of the Snitch was. Maybe it's like some sort of bias that you feel like when you first discover an artist and you binge their entire discography and you love all the albums and you grow so attached to them, and then a new one comes out and it doesn't feel quite right in line with the others because the others are history to you and you know they already exist. But then a new one comes into existence and it's like, but this is new information to me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I loved Black Paint, and that was about it. That was all I remembered from this album over the past few years. I have no idea why, but just this year I decided to give it a shot again, and it's fucking amazing. Are you kidding me? This, I think, legitimately, my two standout albums from this year are Fashion Week and Year of the Snitch, the albums I listened to the most. Well, actually, I could probably list about 50 albums I listened to nonstop this year. But those two were standouts for a period of time, for at least 2 weeks. Those were my go-to albums. And again on the album cover thing, since I judge music so heavily by by their album covers, I said before Government Plates was too non-Death Grips and too boring, but Year of the Snitch is too Death Grips. It feels like come on. Like, I say I like the ominous album covers of Death Grips more in a sense of Fashion Week, where it's like something feels so wrong, so messed up here, but I can't quite put my finger on it, or even just bluntly a penis as an album cover for No Love Deep Web, right? But then Year the Snitch is like someone who knows of Death Grips but hasn't listened to Death Grips tried to make a parody album cover for Death Grips, or like one of those cursed images you would find on Reddit in like 2018. Like it's grown on me because now, like I said before, there's no recency bias now that it has been established for years as a Death Grips album cover. I can accept it as that, but again, it just felt like a parody to me for so long. So I don't know, those are my two least favorite Death Grips album covers, but for very different reasons. But all that aside, like I said, it's a fucking banger of an album. Fucking fantastic all around. Every track goes so hard, as all of their albums do. It's S tier. It's an S tier album. All right, now we got Interview 2016, which is, like I said, another instrumental track that took me a while to get around to. But once I realized how much I loved Fashion Week, I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And it's amazing. It's fantastic. But the thing is, it's so fucking short. It's not even an album. It's not even an album. It's an EP. It's an EP, so because of that fact, it's going in A tier. And here we are. I wanted to build up to this one. I didn't want to do it early, but here's the thing about me with Death Grips. As I've mentioned before, I go through phases of obsessing over albums, and that is especially the case with Death Grips. However, I feel like with Death Grips, it's not just a one-time, I'm obsessed with it for the first 2 weeks after I discover it, and then I'm done with it. Like, Death Grips, I will always return back to their albums and become obsessed with one of the albums again. I have become re-obsessed with No Love Deep Web a million times. I've become re-obsessed with fucking The Money Store a million times. And you think it's a joke that I'm putting them on S tier, and it mostly is, but also the fact that all of these have such replay value for me and never ever get old, that is why they're all S tier, is because they legitimately are some of the best albums I've ever heard. Not that I've heard many albums. Man, I was trying to, like, this is supposed to be like a parody joke video, but now I'm actually expressing my actual opinions about Death Grips, and I'm realizing how embarrassing they are. But anyway, that as a foundation for what I'm about to say, Bottomless Pit is the one I always come back to. Like, between phases of being obsessed with Powers That Be and Government Plates, I will return back to Bottomless Pit. Between every single one. Bottomless Pit, then this album, then Bottomless Pit, then this album, then Bottomless Pit. God, it's just so fucking good. This was the first album I listened to after The Money Store. So this was when I was like, oh, okay. It's not just The Money Store, and they get better. I mean, not really better, but this is a different style by far from The Money Store. The Money Store is very polished, and Bottomless Pit is just, just from the opening song, it's sporadic and insane. It's so fucking catchy, and the album cover is perfect. It's the best Death Grips album cover, and everything about it is just so fucking good. God, I fucking love Bottomless Pit. God. It's a good album. I'm gonna give it S tier. Oh, and then Ex-Military, go fuck yourself. It's not a real album, it's not on streaming, F tier.